A career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.
And what is going on, people? And hey, thank y'all very much for joining us once again at the doggone Big Boneyard. And this is going to be real cool tonight, man. Me and Archbishop was chopping up about this one quite a bit. I'm going to try, actually, so y'all know, I'm going to try not to cuss so much tonight because somebody says it's Mother Effer's Day. No, it's actually Mother's Day. It's actually Mother's Day. And so to start off, Happy Mother's Day to all of those lady boneheads out there that's got a bunch of little baby boneheads out there. We just really, hey, none of us will be here without you. So we definitely appreciate that. Archbishop, what's up, man?
What up, though? What up, though?
Yeah, I love you. See, I'm telling you, I'm going to steal your line one of these days. I just got to be able to, try and do it kind of cool like that.
You know what? I was out this weekend. I heard it, man. I heard it about 10, 15 times. Somebody was like, what up? What up?
That's that. So speaking of, is that more of a Midwest thing, or is that a Midwest thing, or is that like a Northeast thing?
No, it's actually a Midwest thing, but it's where it started at. But
yeah,
it kind of branched out a little bit.
People, yeah, I'm saying because now it's like I seem like because I hear it from folks in Ohio, but now I'm hearing it from folks from Kentucky. I'm hearing people from like Philly. I'm like, what the hell? And I blame you for that, really. I'm just saying. But anyway, hey, we got some guests with us today that we're really glad to have. Y'all know Phoenix from seeing her in the chat. And for those of y'all that ride your motorcycles, y'all might see Phoenix anywhere on the planet Earth riding on them two wheels. So it is our esteemed pleasure to welcome Phoenix, even though she can't be with us in a live sense. She's definitely on the line here. So Phoenix, welcome to the Big Boneyard. And we can't hear you at all. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, all right, I can hear you. And on top of that, we also have another guest. We got Holly. Holly is another one of them motorcycle people who likes to ride motorcycles all over the doggone state of Florida and beyond. So Holly, man, thank you for joining us tonight.
Hi, thank you for having me.
And y'all might be wondering, what's going on and why are these pretty women on the Big Boneyard tonight? And we're gonna get into that in just a little bit. But in the meantime, Archbishop said he had to explain some stuff to some folks so that they know some stuff.
Well, we gotta do this. Hit that disclaimer before we get going. So the disclaimer is this: what we talking about on this show is our opinions and our opinions only. Doesn't have anything to do with our respective clubs or anything like that. This is our roundtable discussion. Our views, our side on it. That's it. That's all.
What he said. That part. But yeah, man. So here's the thing. It's Mother's Day, and like I said earlier, I was teasing a little something, but yeah, all of us are here because of a woman. And at some point, that woman got with some man. It's just like biology, like they talk about that in school. like the birds and the bees or whatever. But at some point there was a relationship that got that woman with that man, and then we got here. Something like that, you know. Hey, I flunked biology. I don't know what to tell you. But so what we're talking about tonight, the subject matter of this show is it's me or the club. You know, which some of us have heard that before. Relationships in the MC. So here's the description that we gave for tonight's show. It goes like this: case number one. All right, case number one says you're a probie, you know, a prospect, you're a probie prospect, and you get that pain in the ass 3 a.m. call to get on your bike, ride about 45 minutes to deliver a hot grilled cheese sandwich to one of your full patch members, because you know that's the kind of shit you do when you're a probie. Anyway, needless to say, your wife, she's pretty convinced that this don't have nothing to do with a grilled cheese and nothing else. She's convinced that you're actually going to see that little cute girl that you seen at BikeNight last week. So what do you do, right? What do you do? Case number two. So you're a woman. You've been in your ladies MC. You've been in your club for about 3 years. So you would think at this point that your husband, you know, he understands your dedication to your club. He should know this by now, right? You have it's a mandatory event. You got to go to it, and it's on his birthday. But he should know how this shit works by now, right? Well, here's the thing. He ain't trying to hear that shit. He ain't trying to hear it. He says to you, hey, it's you or your club. What do you do? Which one do you choose? And more importantly, why? What do you do and why? So that's what we're doing tonight, man. We're going to chop it up a little something about just that subject. For all them mothers out there, you know, that's what we're doing. And so, and of course, needless to say, while we're doing this, boneheads, y'all know, y'all can give us a call because we definitely always want to hear from you. If you call the line, it's going to be that the phone number is 310-870-8994. So questions, comments, any of that. But other than that, man, let's go ahead and start chopping up a little bit. And by the way, we see a lot of our folks have joined us here tonight. Bear, brother, we see you. We got Bear, Miss Sanders, as always. We love seeing you. Dagon, and we got Bear, 1906 Phenom, George. We see George. We see Bolo, Fury. What is up, Fury? And man, Austin Turnbull. Good to see you. And Dagon, Enid. I always forget Enid's Dagon road name, but I see you out there. And yes, Enid said it's an interesting subject, and it is. So we definitely want to hear from you as well, because we know that you know something about that. And Brat is saying, "What's up, Brat? You know something about that too." So anyway, since all of us know something about that, let's go ahead and get it cracking. So relationships. You're in a club, you know, male club, female club, whichever. So I guess the first thing, as a matter of fact, let me ask you. Oh shoot, Stevie Brett. All right, what's up, Cinderella in the house? All right. AB, man, let me ask you this question, brother. It's a two-part question. So you're in an MC. Let's say you're a probie. What's more difficult, being a probie for an MC? Is the difficulty as far as relationship-wise? Is it all the stuff you got to do, or dealing with her or him if it's a female? Or dealing with that person because of the fact that you got to do all of this stuff? Which is harder?
Well, starting out as a probie, it's not as bad on the relationship wise. It's not bad because when you first get into it, you know what I mean, you kind of explain to them like, yeah, you know what I mean, I'm probating, they're gonna have me doing some stuff, blah, 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 blah. So that part is kind of like understood, because hopefully before you started probing, you had this conversation with your significant other as to what you was going to do and what was really entailed during that particular time. You know, you can't speak for anything else after that, but you know that during that probing situation, this is what you're going to be doing. This is what you're obligated to do. So right. At that point, it's probably maybe, I say 80% club, 20% issues at home. You know what right. I mean? Now, it may say a little something here and there because you got to do it all the time, but they do understand that you're trying to get in. So yeah, they kind of brush it under the rug. So the probing process is that's the easy part.
Okay. All right. So now, does it matter of fact? So Holly, in your case, well, have you ever like while being in a club environment, have you ever? Well, let me just ask you this way: what's harder, dating somebody in a club or a guy not in a club?
Somebody in a club. I did date Probie for an MC. That I actually liked all the demands because it gave me time to go do what I wanted.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand with another one that is a little more along the lines of your type of club, that I was being asked questions and I was giving the wrong answers. So I didn't understand. I was actually being interviewed to see if I would fit. And the answer was no, I wouldn't fit in that lifestyle. So yeah, there's those, I don't know, it's hard to date anyway. But yeah, accommodating a club would be difficult, especially since I'm one of those that wants to be accommodated. But as long as you lay out the expectations, or in my case with the other one, they were asking me questions to see if that lifestyle would fit for me.
Right.
And they figured out pretty quick it I was not the right one for that. But that was courtesy though. They asked. So I think if you're going to be in a club, that's something. We're going to have a Harley start here in a second. So expect it. Yeah, I think the best thing to do is ask and have your partner understand. And as long as your partner's on board with it, I guess here's my answer.
Okay, so one more question. So Holly, is it true that that you're on the beach right now?
I am. Oh, I'll turn the mic off. Sorry. Yeah.
I'm just I wouldn't talk about that. I was just saying it looks like you're on the beach, and this folks getting jealous. I'm just saying. But,
Yes, I am. I'm at the Lighthouse Grill, and where are we? Punta Gorda? Oh, I don't. But don't say where I am. I won't be here long. But anyway, yeah. I'm at the beach. Yeah. So.
I'm just saying, people might, because you're talking about dating and stuff, just like that. Somebody gonna come down there and throw you in a saddlebag, and we can't help you because we're in the studio. We stuck. We'll be like, damn, it was all right. I'm just playing.
Well, thank you. Okay.
Yo, but our other guest, Phoenix. What is up, Phoenix? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fabulous. What up, though? I'm from the Midwest too. Chi-town all the way.
Oh, that's right. You one of those people.
Oh, ain't that something?
I forgot about that. Oh man. So what's the thing? So what do you think? Is more difficult going out with a civilian or a guy in a club?
I'd say a civilian because if they don't have the love for being on a motorcycle or in a club, then they will not understand what the lifestyle is all about.
Were you ever prospecting while you were dating?
No.
Okay. Because see, I can imagine that seems like it might be a chore because there's it's so demanding and all like that. So you're saying that it was more of a pain dating a civilian than somebody in a club. Why do you think?
I was in the club, and he ended up with the misunderstanding of what the women do in the club.
Okay.
I always got that I was. Can I just be frank right now?
Yeah.
Oh, that I was dick checking everybody. So I just it was hard. It was hard.
Did you guys fall out because I'm assuming you guys fell out because you were speaking in the past?
Because I was we fell out because I was in the motorcycle club.
Well, how long was he a bitch? No, I mean no. What I mean is, I guess what I mean.
Ever since I started dating him, and he still is.
Hey, let me do another disclaimer. I don't know who this dude is. Just in case, because that wasn't me.
Nobody.
My Tourette's be kicking in sometimes.
It's all good.
Did y'all like talk about it and be like, hey, look, here's what's going on, and he just didn't want to hear it, or was it one of those?
Yeah, we did speak about it up front, and I did let him know, that there's going to be times that I'm going to be on the road. I'm going to have to be on trips, and it might be weekend after weekend, and he couldn't understand that I'm gone one weekend and I had to go again the following weekend, and he just couldn't understand it.
Right. And see, I think there probably is a bit of a difficult translation for civilians to kind of like get it, But what do you think? So have you ever gone out with, well, let me ask you this. As a matter of fact, Archbishop, what do you think is more difficult? Like, because you know how with co-ed clubs, where you got a co-ed club where men and women in the same club, and then you got where it's a all female club, and let's say the guys in a like a man's club, right? Which is more difficult, like being in the same club, or both of y'all being in different clubs? That's tricky, right?
Yeah. I would say being in different ones. The reason why, because if you're in the same club, she's around you all the time.
Right.
You in a different club, she's in a club and she's doing hers and you doing yours, and y'all kind of, meet up in the middle or whatever.
Right.
Usually though, from what I've seen throughout the years, most relationships that you have where the man and the woman are both in clubs,
yeah,
you really don't have that much of an issue. You know what I mean? Because you both had to come in pretty much the same way, so you kind of both have that general understanding as to what your obligation is. You know what I mean? Sometimes we use the term is what you signed up for. So
Yep.
both of you know that. Now, when the other one is a civilian, on the other hand, that's when you have the problems, because they don't really understand how deep your obligation is.
Right.
And the fact that you took that obligation, what it is that it meant to you. You know what I mean? So I'll give you an example. Now I've been doing this MC thing for 23 plus years. Now,
right.
I have been in relationships throughout, both people in clubs and out. The civilian part of it was always an issue, which is why whenever I got into a relationship like that, then of course you got to go through and explain everything without telling your business,
Right.
But nobody never wants to be in a situation that they have to choose. Especially being something that you was in prior to them even coming into your life in the first place.
Oh yeah, facts.
Because like I said, everybody comes in these clubs for different reasons. Like you got some that come here to party, you got some that deal with the politics, you got some that, that the club scene is all they know. Like they can't live without it. Then you have some that that's just actually just passionate about the whole MC life itself. It's like bred in you. This is who you are. So when you have somebody that tells you that it's me or the club, it's like it's a little bit deeper than that when you tell it to the right person, because it's more like you trying to change me. You met me,
right.
You loved me when I was this way. Now, once you got here, now I gotta be this way.
Now you gotta. I want you to change everything.
Right. I'm not this dude. I'm not who you. I'm not this person. This is not the one that you met. You met this person here. And when you get to giving out ultimatums like that, you gotta make sure that your value is more than you think it is.
Yeah.
A lot of them would just tell you, okay, then it is what it is. Kick rocks, deuces. You're going for your damn business. You know what I mean? So you got to know when to play that hand, because you could be sitting there with 4 aces, or you could be 4 twos. You know what I mean?
No, wait, I hit the wrong button. That shit is funny. But yo, so let me ask you. So Phoenix, have you ever got the, them what is it? Them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, them 5 words, it's me at the club?
Of course.
So is and you decided that you loved him so good that you don't like the club no more, and you guys rode off into the sunset on Harleys or something.
Absolutely not.
Are you, because that
No,
seemed,
sir.
he said it's him or the club. Didn't you
Bye.
just oh, it's like that. You just gonna
Just
tell me
like that.
you gotta
Yep.
keep the rocks. All right.
Yep.
Damn.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
All
That's
right.
it.
But yo, so I mean, did that actually go down like that though? I mean, I was teasing about it,
Pretty
but
much. Yeah. No. Yes.
okay, all right. Well, shit, that's what's up. See, but again, that's like Archbishop was just saying. There's a level of dedication that happens that I think a lot of folks aren't really. I'm speaking civilians or even other club members. I think people ain't really set up to get that response. Like it's me or the club, and they're like, "See ya." It happened. But then on the flip side of the coin, I know some other folks who might be like, "Hey, you know what? I don't even like this club, and I've been riding a motorcycle a lot. My butt hurts. You know what? Yeah, let's forget that club. Let me go hang out with Roger or fucking Michael or whoever the hell." So, matter of fact, speaking of which, doggone Holly, hey, what are you drinking? Because people watching, you are drinking something.
Diet Coke.
Oh, okay. All right, whatever.
I know, kind of boring.
So, Holly, you ever got those 5 words? It's me at the club.
No, I have had people get irritated with the amount of time I'm on the road, and for me, I was doing a lot of traveling where I might be the only woman in the group, and if there might be 1 or 2 women, and I did catch a little flack for that, but I was riding.
Okay. So somebody on Facebook just said it's different for a woman to be a member of an MC versus a PO of an MC. That's actually so I know that different for sure, but that's a whole other ball of wax. I mean, that's like a whole entire other thing. Like if a woman's a PO, but her sponsor is a full patch member of the club, but her boyfriend is like her boyfriend from high school or something. That's a whole entire other thing. So whoever said that on Facebook, yeah, that's true. That's some truth to that. But
Hey, Bone, I'm going to say it's definitely different. I've been on both spectrums of that. So it is totally different.
How so? And I know what's bouncing around in my head, and I can see Archbishop chomping at the bit because he's like, "Oh hell, oh hell." But so in your case, so what do you think about that?
So in my case, what I experienced is being an MC, an all female motorcycle club. I had the freedom to roam and pretty much talk to anybody and everybody that I approached or came towards me. But with being a PO for the certain club that I was, this guy was in, I had to sit in one spot and I couldn't socialize.
Okay, gotcha.
And if somebody approached me, I would have to tell them to speak to him before they can speak to me. That was the difference.
Yeah,
Now, go ahead, Bishop.
But what I mean, don't nobody just walk up to you and just say whatever. What I mean, out of respect. I mean, that's just think about it. When you out here and you wearing your property and you wearing somebody else's cut, so you there in representation of your sponsor. So if somebody walks up to you and they're talking, they don't know whether you a club PO, their old lady, what they don't know. So out of respect, when you see that name on there, then you find out who that is and you ask, is it okay for you to have that conversation? Then they're going to tell you whether that's my old lady or I'm going to go ask her and I'm going to see what she says. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that you got to sit there like a zombie, but then too, that means sponsors.
Right. Facts.
Now, Now, I've had POs that was married. So you can imagine I had to go to them and explain to them, okay, why that your wife is my PO and why she's out here, she belongs to me. You know, she's my wife when we out here.
Mhm.
And when she come home to you. Now, they were also in other clubs. Their husband was in other clubs. So you had to explain to them, like, okay, even if we're in the same spot, she still belongs to me. So you
Right.
don't. So when you ready to go, bye. You go home. She don't go home when you go home. She go home when I go home. You know what I mean? So, like you said, there's a lot of stuff behind that. You have to be able to. There's a lot of different things that go inside of there. You got to have that trust issue there, and you got to have somebody solid that you know that's actually looking out for your best interest. Because maybe sometimes your spouse will tell you not to say nothing to somebody just because he knows the rap sheet of that person that's trying to talk to.
Right. Facts, man. That's big facts, because that's a thing that I've seen over the years. A PO, and a good PO is not gonna make a a big scene on the set, or that's like a never happened type of joint. But behind closed doors, she might be like, hey, why wasn't I supposed to, why didn't you want me to talk to so and so and so and so? And then, again, behind closed doors, that dude right there ain't for you. And I'm not talking about the PO that's your girlfriend or your wife. I mean, the PO that's like your cousin or your aunt or the woman across the street or the girl from the set who's been a part of the set for a while. She wanted to be a PO. And she's like, she's free to, talk to dudes, date or whatever like that. That's her business. But as your sponsor, your job is to watch out for her. So, and again, completely different relationship. So it's a relationship, but a completely different dynamic. It's not a romantic relationship, but it is a relationship of like brother, sister, like big brother, little sister, or like, yeah, that's probably the most accurate, like a big brother kind of a situation. So, but that's kind of interesting though. And by the way, it was Brat who actually is a PO, who brought up the conversation about the PO, and Cinderella said, especially when they have their philosophies on how we get to be a PO. So I see where she was going with that, because folks are confused about that's a whole other thing. But so I guess for you, Dagon, Holly, so you've been around for a while. You dated guys in clubs, not in clubs, and the whole thing. How do you think somebody should manage, like how do you set somebody up to understand I'm in a club that's not going to mess us up? Or do you think, or if you even think that's true, do you think being in a club is definitely going to mess up your relationship?
I think that you set your expectations right off the bat is what you need to do, and explain that you're in a club and these are the requirements. Now, and if it's not going to work, why waste your time moving forward? Like I mentioned, I was interviewed. I didn't realize it, for my compatibility with that life, and my answers were wrong. I figured that out a year later. You explained it to me. Thank you. So that club member was looking out for whether or not I would work within his organization, and I didn't. So you know what? My feelings didn't get hurt. His feelings didn't get hurt. That problem was avoided. I think that's the best way to do it. I think what he did was the right way to do it. It's just, and if I'd answered the answers right, then comes the laying out the expectations and making sure that you're good with it. That's the best you can do. But
So Phoenix, Luke just said he's been with his woman for 41 years. Good God, Luke, you're old. But no, I'm just playing. But no, Luke said, I've been with my woman for 41 years, but still a flat ultimatum might not be accepted the way that she thinks. Because, and I guess that's the thing. After 41 years, she might be like, hey, you know what? We got 41 years. We've been riding this thing out, and I'm sick of this club. Put that patch down. So what's the difference between somebody who's like new to the club versus somebody who's been in the club forever, as far as that ultimatum? What do you think, AB? You've been in for a minute versus you just got here.
Well,
Okay, go ahead, Archbishop.
No, go ahead,
I
Phoenix.
was I was gonna say, with somebody coming in on the new, being a new club member, they're hungry to be out there, so they're gonna try and be, for a woman. I'm speaking for a woman.
Right.
Want to be out there, learn everything, learn everybody that's out there. So they're gonna want to be at every event. So I think that if she is with somebody, she needs to let him know what her her expectations are gonna be with him. Because I know for a man, they're not gonna put up with that, going on the new and then she's gone all the time.
So let me ask you this though. So what, as a woman, because you're a woman, right? Yeah. I think
I'm gonna beat you.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna be good. But as a woman though, what do you think? Like, there's probably the normal stuff, but like, if you would say, like, in your experience, what the hell is he worried about? Like, what does he think's going to happen if you stay in this club?
Especially if he doesn't know anything about the club life. I think for women it's different. We're moms, we have children, we have the family, we have the family, husbands, and it's not we're not expected to be home to do all these things, but when you're doing it already and then all of a sudden there's a change because you're joining a club, that
Right.
changes the whole dynamic of your household.
Okay. So he's like, this club's getting ready to mess up my, Wednesday night
I
taco
think it's
or whatever.
yeah, I think it's easier for a man to get up and go versus a woman to just get up and go because of the responsibility behind that. Being at home,
So you
taking
feel like
care of
men?
everything.
So what you're saying is men are irresponsible? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm not. Don't you start no mess. I'm not saying that.
Archbishop just said that. Why is she saying that about men? I think that's
Our
what
bishop, when you see me get him, you better look the other way.
I ain't gonna say
Sorry.
nothing. Got it.
Yeah, everybody wanna be violent. I don't understand it.
You can go and get it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's the big thing. I think from a woman's standpoint, or as you were a guy in a club, the woman that would say, "Is me or the club" type thing, she's probably worried about all of the same stuff. Like, well, actually, not so much the home stuff, because like if he's doing his thing and he goes to work, if he's got a job and pays the bill, cuts the grass or whatever like that, all that
Mhm.
stuff is good. I think that a lot of the women who might say it's me or the club, I think that she's worried about him, meeting that girl from BikeNight last week and running
It's insecurities.
yeah,
She's
the
insecure.
That
yeah,
part.
that's the real
There's
thing.
no trust. There's no trust. She has no trust, and she doesn't believe in the club that he's in. That's the whole point. That's the whole dynamic of that relationship.
It's like that dude could be a truck driver and she'd probably have the same issues. You know what I mean? It's like
That's her own
it doesn't matter
personal
what.
issues.
Yeah, that has more to do with the relationship, or so it seems in this subject. It seems like, hey, if you're solid, you're solid. If you're not, you're not. But but again, now I'm not going to be naive and say that there's not some interesting things that happen in the motorcycle community, on the set that civilians will go, wow, I can't believe what I heard about at the clubhouse that happened on Saturday. First of all, whoever's talking about what's going on at the clubhouse on Saturday to somebody who wasn't at the clubhouse on Saturday, stop running your mouth. If you wasn't there, it didn't happen. But just because it's a crazy, wild, super fun MC environment doesn't mean that your guy or your girl is all on the bar with a lampshade on their head or whatever like that. Because especially as a probie, Hey, that Probie ain't having no fun. I promise you. And 9 times out of 10, that Probie is like, thank God this night is over. I can't wait to get home, as opposed to, you know what I mean? Because Probies ain't having no fun. And even full patch members, guess what? If he's got a job in the club, or he or she has a job in the club, it's like work for them. That's like a work night.
And then it depends on how much time you actually been in the club.
Oh, yeah.
So like when you first get in the club, just like Phoenix was saying, you want to do everything. You want to be everywhere that you think you need to be.
Right.
You want to travel around. You want to hit clubhouse to clubhouse. You want to hit every party you can hit, because you want that full experience. You want to experience all of it.
Right.
After you've been here for a certain amount of years, it's just a party.
Right.
You know what I mean? You go just to see your bros.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why you go. You go, have a couple beers, have a couple drinks, shoot the shit, tell a couple lies, go home. Dude, you know what I mean? It's like the overall party thing. That's for the ones that just came in. The ones that's been there for years, they don't give a shit about that damn party. They just go to hang out. You know what I mean? Because you think about it. If now you know, like the big insecurity part where they thinking you're gonna be running around and because to a civilian female, they think that all POs are just hoes and they just run around doing this, that, and the third. They don't realize that these hoes, quote quote, are doctors and lawyers and nurses and actually hold substantial jobs. You know what I mean? This is an outlet. This is an outlet to them. This is like, like some people go to the gym every day because that's their out. You know what I mean? Everybody has to have an out. Everybody has to have a place that you go where you can unwind. That Monday through Friday shit, you can just let it go and just, kind of recharge your senses and get back on the right track. You know what I mean? For us bikers, that's what we do. You know what I mean? We jump on the bike, we go to our anniversary, we chill out for the weekend. We kind of, everything that was at the house, that's the bullshit, goes out the window. When you come back, you refresh and you ready to deal with whatever. Just because you out there doesn't mean that you out there fucking around. If I wanted to fuck around, I could fuck around Monday through Friday. I don't got to go out. I don't got to travel 6 states away to fuck around. I can fuck around right up under your goddamn nose and not even know it. If that's what
that part.
I'll tell you, Cinderella said that the thing, I guess what she's saying is a lot of people misunderstand that when they're going to these open houses at the clubhouse, it's really a Bible study. There's a lot of Bible study going on. She explained that, and you're right. Of course, you're right. And but I'll tell you, Brat was saying something pretty good. She says, Brat says, "Hey, I sit and be pretty at events." Well, she tries, and she goes, "She's social, but probably why I'm single. But it's hard being single in an MC because I love being at all the events. My sponsor probably wishes I was not single, but I know a civilian boyfriend would just not work." She says, I would never bring a civilian boyfriend to an MC event. And while I understand that, Dagon, Holly, why do you think that Brat says I wouldn't bring a civilian boyfriend to an MC event?
Oh, a civilian boyfriend wouldn't understand. I'm kind of, I'm with an association, so, and we have two, we have both sexes, so that wouldn't be a problem for me. But getting a man to understand, you guys don't. So a civilian is just not going to listen if they don't understand motorcycles and the motorcycle community. You've got a lot of education right there, right?
Yeah, and some folks just ain't that smart. Phoenix, would you bring a civilian boyfriend to an MC event?
Yes, so that he can get his feelings hurt.
Okay. See, that's why I don't fuck with you. That shit.
But no, on the real though.
Yeah.
I would bring him. I would bring him to show that I'm not there looking for nobody. I'm
Right.
not there trying to find a boyfriend because I don't date on the set. So
Okay.
if he doesn't, so he can see it for himself, then maybe that'll make him understand what I'm telling him versus him seeing it himself.
Right. Right. And you know, well, again, you know, I always tease with you, but I get that. I absolutely get that because a lot of times you could tell somebody 50 ways from Sunday that, hey, that ain't. And I know for, oh my God, for decades, there's certain women who are on the set. I mean, well known on the set, held in high esteem, well respected in the whole thing, and you won't be able to find two different mofos who can say about the time when they was dating her or I did this, I did that, or the other thing or that. No, because certain women, they don't fuck with dudes on the set. And if they do fuck with a dude on the set, you gonna that whoever it is she fucking with on the set, he's squared away. He, you know, ain't about no BS. Typically 9 times out of 10, well respected, and it doesn't mean he's necessarily wearing jewelry or something like that, but he's somebody who's well respected on the set, who don't have a reputation for BS. And so you'll every now and then see one of those types, maybe every now and then, break away from the I ain't messing with nobody on the set. But a lot of I've known a couple of different lady riders who they don't. You have no idea. I mean, I know this one girl. She's been married for like 40 years. 40, no kidding. She's been married actually over 40 years. And most folks have never seen her husband. Never seen him. And they've been married, squared away. He's a professional. She's a professional. All like that. And they good. They just good. But and actually she told me a few years ago that hey, he does his thing, I do my thing. That's my outlet. He has his outlet. And but guess what? We meet up at home at night unless I'm out of town. And she's and look and rides her shit. I've seen her all over the United States, you know, like pounding the ground like we do. And I'm like, wow. And guess what? Ain't no funny business. Ain't no none of that. She's in an all-female club. They get it in. They do their damn thing. So I was going to ask you though, Holly, how come you don't like women riders? Is that a thing?
What? I don't like women riders?
All right.
What? I
No,
love
You
women
always start in
riders.
trouble.
all right.
You always start in trouble.
What I mean, I'm teasing about that. But one of the things that's really interesting to me, this came up here not that long ago. I was talking to this one woman. She actually called. She watches the show, and she was saying something to the effect of, "Well, I don't mess with women. All of my friends are guys." And she was saying to me that she likes. She watches the show every week, which is cool. She goes, she goes where I am. She's in a different state. She goes where I am. She goes, I'm on the set. And I fuck with the bros. I don't mess with those females because females are this, females are that, females are the other thing. I said, oh, well, how long? I said, are you a PO or you been in the club? And she's like, oh, she goes, I've been in clubs before, but I don't really do the club thing because those females are bitches and da 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 da. I don't want to be a PO because those females are bitches and da 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 da. And it dawned on me after speaking with her for a little bit. I'm like, oh, she's one of those. But as we spoke, she's got 17 different dudes that she's dated that's been her boyfriends in the past couple of 3 years. So I say all of that, and if you're out there listening, don't take this the wrong way, but that bitch is for the streets. You know what I mean? She's not there for the motorcycle riding or the event or the brotherhood or the sisterhood. She's there trying to hook up. So she's actually that chick. She's there. She's the exact reason as to why it is that somebody's wife or somebody's husband might be like, "It's me or the club," because there's predatory chicks out there, and so it's all to me. It's always a red flag when I hear some woman talking all this bad shit about all these other women. Because I feel like the reason that you don't mess with other women is because you're probably gonna try to snake their man or something like that, and these other females ain't with that. So, and that you're going to be found out. But the neat thing is that a lot of women that are on the set, that's not why they're there. I see like in all female clubs, they legitimately have a sisterhood. you don't hear about all of that backstabbing and this one's taking that one's man and all that kind of stuff. That's not like a normal thing. In fact, not only is it frowned upon, it might get you beat up. Like that's not a thing as it is amongst civilians. And the funny thing is, civilians are the ones that are most critical of how this MC thing goes, because they're the ones that want to say it's me at the club. But but I digress.
But you know what though, even if you take them to the clubhouse or to the parties or whatever, you know what I mean? Because usually you do, just so that they can see what it is that you're actually doing. Now you can take them 3, 4, 5, 10 times. You can take them. They go, you know what I mean? Of course, they ain't gonna say nothing. They're just gonna sit there and look around and look at everything that's going on. But then you get, well, you just wasn't moving around because I was in there. Like, no, the same way.
Oh yeah, I've heard that before. I've actually heard that before.
It's always one thing after the next, You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I have said for years to anybody that I've talked to that was not on the MC scene, I would tell them, never put me in a situation where I have to choose.
Right.
Because if you do, I guarantee you will not like the answer that I'm going to tell you. Simply because this is what I was doing before you came here. This is what I was doing when you met me. Now, if it was something that I was doing that was wrong, I could see, okay, we got to make a compromise and change the thing or two, because I was doing some ratchet shit or something like that.
Right.
But that's not what's going on right now. So, that's always been one of the big issues, is that when you having somebody that's not familiar with what's going on over here,
right,
to basically try to, because you spend most of your time trying to ease your mind, like, no, that's not what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Yeah, so you're on a phone calling all the time. You know what I mean? Or you FaceTiming to make sure ain't nobody in your room.
Right.
This ugly
right. You got spinning the phone around.
Ain't nobody else in here. You know what I mean? Let me show you the bathroom. Ain't nobody. You know what I mean? You don't got to do all that. You know what I mean? If you don't have trust in the person that you with, if you trust them while they at home, why can't you trust them when they leave the house? If you can't do that, then that's a problem. You know what I mean? That's a problem, whether it's with you or with him, or both of y'all got an issue or whatever. You know what I mean? Me personally, I don't give a shit. You leave the house and say you're going XYZ, then you go XYZ. I'll talk to you when you get back. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and call you 150 times to see what you're doing, who you talking to, blah, skip. You know what I mean? All this other bullshit. That's stupid. The reason why I don't do that is because I don't want you to do me that way.
Right.
Kind of like turn around is fair game. You know what I mean? I don't do it to you. You don't do it to me. Like I said, you don't have to. You don't have to wait until the weekend to be a porn star. Hell, I could be Big Dangerous Monday through Friday. You know what I mean? I don't want to wait till the weekend to do that.
Well, see, that whole porn star thing, you gotta, you have to have a schedule. I think Phoenix is Tuesdays and Thursdays and every other Saturday, but it's a schedule, and that's how it works.
Really?
I did not even say that. I did not say that. And so please stop blaming me.
Bishop, he's digging that hole.
I'm going to be better. Look, it's not my fault. I was drinking. You can't blame me for alcohol.
Drinking and smoking.
By accident, because I didn't even mean to do it. But hey, Austin Turnbull said, there's things I'll take my old lady to and other things that I won't, because she just doesn't understand everything that she might see. And that's kind of what you were saying a little earlier, Bishop, is that go ahead.
Let me sum this up with one rule. One rule will sum all this up for you. Okay? If you got a civilian girlfriend, wife, husband, boyfriend, I'm just gonna speak for the women. I'm gonna speak for that. If you love her, do not bring her to the fucking clubhouse. Period. Don't bring her to the fucking clubhouse. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because even though you may be 100, it's always another motherfucker lurking behind you. Them the ones that hit the DMs and the little slick shit when you leave to go to the bathroom or whatever. They slide over, say something real quick, and all that other shit. Because not everybody is fucking honest. Let's just keep it what it is. You know what I mean? You got some dirtbag motherfuckers out there that will literally do that shit soon as you turn your damn back. That's just what it is.
Bishop, the women do it too.
Exactly. But I'm talking about
Okay, gotcha.
I'm talking about it on this end. Now I'm gonna give you to say that. They do that shit because motherfuckers is messy and they like to do slime ball shit. And a lot of times they do it just to see if you gonna jump. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm gonna send her a couple messages. I'm gonna see if she say something to him, or you know, if she answer me back. You know what I mean? If she answer me back and I know I got you know what I mean, I got a little bit of a crack in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let me see what I can finagle. Be on some straight up fugazi ass bullshit. Is what you be on. The only thing that's gonna do is fuck around and the dude find out, and then it's a whole nother damn problem, because then you're gonna run behind the passion and try to keep your ass from getting whooped because you done some bullshit. You know what I mean? Some of these girls, they do the same shit. You know what I mean? They may have a solid dude. They may have somebody that they ain't, you know what I mean, that they know is a straight up 100 ass dude that's gonna understand everything that they're gonna do, but they still gonna run around because they're gonna try to see if they can find somebody just like a little bit fucking better than the one that they got.
Right.
Then,
The BBD, the bigger, better deal.
then what happens? You hit snake eyes and you don't get shit. You don't get him, and you damn sure don't get this one. You know what I mean? Because this one over here, you know. This one over here is what they want you to know. You know what I mean? It's like an illusion. You know what I mean? You know, like when you hear me call people Decepticons all the time. More than
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Not everybody's who they say they are. You know what I mean? So, you know, you can spit a good game, you know what I mean? But because a pair of lips will tell you anything.
Yeah.
And a lot of them will run around just off of that. You know what I mean? Because they hit these little parties, and the ones who are single that just running around, they hit these parties because they're looking, you know what I mean? Like a lot of, don't get me wrong, a lot of them actually out there looking for a boyfriend out there. You know what I mean? Some of them actually are. Some of them actually single and out there looking for boyfriends. You know what I mean? And you know, I've told some of my POs that was out there. You know what I mean? No, you know, you don't want this one, you don't want this one. Oh, but I love him. Okay, go ahead and do it. And then when the shit falls back and you go, first thing you gonna hit me with, you was right, sponsor. I should have listened. That's the first thing you say. And I'll be damned every single time that shit didn't happen because they don't listen. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. You got to school, you know, that's the thing, is like if it's in one ear, out the other. Because, you know, for those of y'all that don't know, and I kind of alluded to it a little earlier, the sponsor PO relationship, and a lot of, I don't mean when you're married and all that jazz, but if your PO is your homegirl or your neighbor or your aunt or your cousin, whatever, right? Then your thing is, my job is to make sure that while she's on this set, she's protected. I got to watch out for her. Even when she don't know, I got to watch out for her when she's not watching out for herself. So one of the best ways you're going to do that is by providing her with information, who to fuck with, who not to fuck with. You give them what they need to make sure they're making good decisions. Now, if they get digmatized or they just choose to, you know, throw that out the window because he looked good or he spit some good game, and then she get her feelings hurt, what can you do? By the way, we got watching. I'm so glad you said your name because we can't always see who's on Facebook, but we got Twisted. Twisted, another very well respected. That's my sister. I love her. Everybody does. But Twisted said, never letting no hoe or bitch ass dude get my ear about my dude. That's what's up. That's what's up. So I was glad to hear that. And by the way, Twisted, if you're still listening, you have a wealth of information on this subject. So please feel free to call in. Anybody can. The phone number is 310-870-8994. Y'all give us just a second. So we're going to go ahead and do that station identification, even though that's not what it really is. Real quick, like we're going to take a short break and be right back. Y'all hang on a second. Wrong one. Stop doing stuff. That's the wrong one.
Do a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.
See, that wasn't even that long. But no, that's a fact though, man. What y'all are saying, y'all are like hitting on all 8 cylinders tonight, though. I think what really happens though, and AB, what you were saying is just that sometimes it's not even the fact that somebody's worried about their husband or their wife. They're worried about how they're going to be approached by whomever, because there's somebody, somebody out there, that's plotting on them. Somebody is trying to see, hey, can I get her to not tell her sponsor? Can I get her to not say nothing to her husband, right? But that goes back to, do you have a good relationship or do you not? And that's just the thing. We got a lot of folks giving good Facebook. You said insecurities. So yeah, of course, people are insecure. Ghost Eagle said, howdy, Bishop. Ghost Eagle said a lot of good stuff. Ghost Eagle was saying a little earlier, he said, it is good to have a relationship while in a club, but you got to have communication with each other, make it known how each other feels, and listen to each other, I think that's just good, no matter club, no club, or whichever. I mean, I think that's just a good rule for being in a relationship. Somebody on Facebook said, now you know I was standing outside the hotel door when you was on FaceTime, your favorite POLOL. I don't know who that is because I can't see it. Okay, somebody else said, I trust you until you give me a reason not to. I ain't looking for shit. Oh, that's Twisted. So Twisted says, I trust you until you give me a reason not to. I ain't looking for shit. And I know Twisted, and that it would be the damn gospel. But yeah, so I guess somebody on Facebook wants Archbishop to be religious because they said, preach, Bishop, preach. You must have said a thing. I don't know what you said. Who that is? Oh, Lord of mercy. Hold on. I know who that is. Hold on. I'm going to act like I don't know who it is. Well, hold on. Hey, hello, and thank you for calling the Big Boneyard. You have Big Bone 1%er, Archbishop 1%er, with our special guests, Holly and Phoenix. Who's calling, please?
This is Twisted.
I knew that was you. I was just playing. How you doing, sister?
I'm doing well. That was Cowgirl that responded to my.
Oh, that was Cowgirl?
She did the response to my answer, which was basically, I'm not so if it's not my job to regulate what my dude does in the clubhouse. It's his job. Right. I'm looking for nothing. Don't let it cross my doorstep. But do you, boo? Right. You know you married. If nobody else knows you ain't in a relationship, you know you're in a relationship. Right. And see, I'm so glad you called in because you had. So for those of y'all that don't know, Twisted has been on the set for a bazillion years. And well, not really a bazillion because you ain't that old, but Twisted is very well respected, not just in this state, but throughout the United States on the set. She's now look, you can be shy later. I'm just gonna say it like it is. But no, Twisted knows shit. And she's done broken many a heart. And by the way, why are you talking about your heart breaking so-and-so? But the one thing that we have this expression that we say on the set, like, damn, that's a messy bitch right there. Like those chicks that always in the middle of something, always got some old drama, crazy stuff going on. As it relates to Twisted, she's never had a messy nothing, right? And but also remember a little earlier, I was talking about those females that don't mess with other females and all that kind of stuff. That's never Twisted. You know why? Because of the fact that she's loved, she's respected. She kind of like leads the way. But it is some of those messy chicks who's like, they got a problem with Twisted, or they slick out their lip about Twisted. Because guess what? Twisted ain't trying to fuck your husband. Twisted ain't trying to stab you in the back. Twisted is doing her thing. And I'm showing other chicks how to do it. And so as a result of such, people gravitate towards her. So Twisted, let me ask you this though. And so you have a wealth of knowledge with this stuff. I'm going to ask you some of the same stuff. What's better,
dating a civilian or somebody that's in a club? As a woman, I'm saying.
You know, ironically, I had a post that came up on my timeline yesterday that said, "You want to lose a man, buy a bike."
wait a minute. You said if you want to lose a man, buy a bike. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Twisted, you bought a few bikes. Is this something you want to tell? Because you bought a couple of three different bikes.
This is something that came up on my timeline like years ago that I wrote.
Oh, right.
But no, I actually, when I was dating, that was the craziest thing because guys have preconceived ideas of what women in bike world do.
Right.
You know, I mean, I was on a dating website at one point, and this dude found out I rode motorcycles, and he was like, "Oh, I can't mess with you." And I'm like, dude, if I do that same little stereotype, I'm like, you Haitian, you might cut my damn head off. What the hell? You know, it's just the idea that, you know, there are some women out there that are all about getting a ride, and I mean that in the most explicit way. And then there are women that are about that bike life.
Right.
You know, because they have the love of it, they feel for it. It's what they do. They're not concerned with what somebody over there is doing. They're not concerned with, you know, who's talking about who. For the club, they're all about the club.
Right.
You know, they're all about family. But some people don't know what family means.
I feel you. So Bolo has a question. So Twisted, Bolo says, and this is to all the ladies on the panel. He says, do the ladies on the panel feel it's difficult to maintain a long-term relationship because of the lifestyle? So is bike life making it difficult to have a long-term relationship? What say you, Twisted?
Well, you know, I recently got married, and the one question I asked my husband, because I was doing this before, you know, him, even though I met him on the set, but I asked him, I said, do you want me to walk away from all this? And he was like, you know, I asked him, is it going to be a problem with me being, you know, still in my club? He's like, only if you think it's going to be a problem. It's not a problem for me. That's the sign of a secure individual.
Right.
I can bring him anywhere he's not threatened. I'm not making it so that he feels threatened. So, I mean, longevity, it starts in the house.
Right.
So if your roof is leaking, you know what? hey, show the crowd become a dick to ride on. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right. Right on. All right, I feel you. Phoenix. So same question. The question is it difficult to maintain a long-term relationship because of the lifestyle?
I wouldn't say it's difficult if you both have the same understanding of the bike life. But that's my answer.
Okay. So somebody on Facebook said something pretty good. This, I'm not sure if this was you, Twister, or not, but it says, it's my job to regulate myself and other dudes, just like it's my dude's job to regulate himself and other females. Was that you, Twisted?
That would be me.
Okay, all right. It sounded like you. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So, Dagan Holly, so what do you think? Is it hard to have a long-term relationship if you're on the set?
I think it's just, you can accomplish a long-term relationship, period. Would the set or the community make it more difficult? Probably not. Probably not. If you're going to make it long-term, you've already gotten through that. You know, it's the starting point, I would think, that makes it more difficult while the guy's getting, or in my case, would be while the man's getting used to the fact that I'm going to be out on my bike. But long term, no, because you've already negotiated that. And if you're making it long term, does that make sense?
Right. So
I think it's harder for the beginning.
Okay.
Than the. All right.
So you're saying, like, if you made an agreement, then that's what it is, and that's what you're rocking with.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, there's lots of problems with coming to a long-term relationship, but if you're already active in the community when you start, and that's what you do, and you make it to long term, I think it's more likely other things would interfere with it rather than being in the community. But
All right.
that's just, you know.
So, AB,
Sir.
so somebody said, Anza said, it's almost impossible. And I get, well, let me ask you about this, Archbishop. So Anza says, it's almost impossible to have a PO civilian relationship because they always want to point out the bad stuff or something that they heard. Does that make sense?
True. Yeah, yeah. You know, and people got to understand this. Now, if you are a PO in a club, every club is ran different. So that means the whole dynamic of the club is different. How they run their POs is different. I mean, so a lot of times you hear, like, you know, like people in 99 clubs are like that, you hear about all this stuff that's supposed to go on when you over here on this side. Like, you know, all the different stuff that the POs do and this, and that, and the third. Which some of it is true, a lot of it's not.
Right.
You know, and so you have people that like a couple things. Number one, they go by something that somebody else had told them, which knows that somebody had told them. They wasn't actually there to see it themselves. They going by word of mouth from 3, 4, 5, 6 other people.
Right.
First thing. Second thing is that they don't understand the whole sponsor concept.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm your boyfriend, so why come he tells you what to do? I'm your boyfriend. You listen to me. You don't gotta listen to him. Wrong.
Right. Right.
Wrong. You know what I mean? So you automatically come into something. Like I said before, this is something that you was in prior to you even coming around. So there's certain things that, you know, I'm pretty sure man or woman explained to the other prior to them coming in. So I'm going to explain all this to you, and then at that point, it is your thing to whether you want to accept it and stay, or say that's too much for you and move on. That's what it is. Now, if you accept it and stay, then that means that you understand everything that it was that I told you about. You can ask all the questions you want. I can explain everything to you, whatever. But by you still sitting here, that means that you are accepting of what it is that I'm doing.
Right. Okay.
Now, don't wait a couple months later, and then all of a sudden you got a problem. You know what I mean? And your problem isn't based on anything. 9 times out of 10, it ain't based on anything that she's even done. It's just something somebody else has said, like, oh, well, you know, she a PO, such and such. Oh, you know what they be doing. You know, you know what I mean?
I'm trying to tell them that book, yeah.
Right. Tell them about the bullshit, and then they take that shit home, think that shit gonna be cool to say. And then what happens? You packing your shit. That's what packing your shit.
So, Twisted, let me ask you, well, 2 things. One, Luke Flupper was saying solid words, Twisted, and he was writing that while you was talking. But so my question is, have you ever been hit with them 5 words? It's me or the club.
Have I been hit with those words?
Yeah, like so somebody said, look, Twisted, I'm sick of your shit. Either you're gonna leave that club or I'm out.
Well, let me put it to you this way. The way my PTSD is set up.
Yo. Yo, I ain't gonna tell all your business, but so the thing about Twisted is a well loved and respected member. She's a veteran. She was a member of the United States Army. She's we have these arguments all the time. I keep explaining to her how the Marine Corps is so much better than the Army. She don't believe me.
My head couldn't fit in the jar. My bad.
But I tell you what, this woman did her thing for her country, and the reason I started calling her Twisted a long time ago is because of all of the damage that was done to her, and she returned the favor to some folks in other countries who ain't with us no more. But anyway, look, Twisted, she do her damn thing, and we just love her to damn death. But I wanted to ask you though, so So, and I understand what you were saying earlier, you know, civilian versus a civilian as opposed to, you know, a patch member and so forth. But so if somebody hits you with them 5 words, me or the club, you know, you're going to handle that the way you handle that. But have you seen, you know, because, you know, again, I know your pedigree. I remember you started at one club in Tampa that was definitely, I don't know, you know, I know we talk about the name or whichever, but I know your pedigree is legit, right? With female clubs and everything else. Have you seen a woman get hit with the "is me or the club" and she just bounce?
Several times, but I've seen that happen with women that get into new relationships. Period.
Okay.
There are women that will shut their whole damn Facebook page down because of some dude. While he out there, you know, banging everything left and right, she's sitting there trying to be Miss Susie Homemaker.
Right.
You know,
right.
so it's all about who you with. If you got somebody that's insecure, you know what? Maybe you need to rethink what you're doing anyway.
So how do you do, like, what, if anything, do you do to avoid all of that bullshit before it gets started? Or is that a thing?
It's not a thing with me, but then I'm not everybody.
Yeah,
so,
true.
You know, like I said, that conversation came up when I got married, before I got married, you know, and I mean, it wasn't an issue. Like I said, he met me at Twisted on the set. Ain't nothing gonna change.
Well, see,
I'm gonna respect, you know, the household, respect the marriage and the whole night. So that's not even an issue.
Well, see, and now how do they say that thing? Full disclosure. So I know you, I know your husband, and I can say both of y'all, neither one of y'all are with that bullshit. You know what I mean? Neither one of y'all is wrapped tight enough to y'all have what I call mutually guaranteed destruction. So neither one of y'all coming with no bullshit. You know? So yeah, it's like, so your situation is a little different. You know what I mean? Like, if he's fucking up, you'd kill him. If you was fucking up, he'd kill you. It's like a whole thing. But so you don't have the same situation that regular folks do. But so
I don't.
If you're talking to regular people, what do they do?
But the thing is again, you're talking about the breed, basically the person.
Yeah,
if
true.
A female is that insecure, and you know, if you know her husband wants her to leave, and you know she wants to keep a marriage, if it's him or the marriage or the bike world or the marriage, she needs to go with that marriage.
Right.
Ain't no reason to break up a happy home over a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You know, because my thing is, if somebody tells me, you know, they don't want me to be in a club or whatever, it's the marriage and me. Again, I'm newly married, so you know I've been single for 17 years before you do.
Right on.
So
right.
I don't lie. But if you like I said, if you want this whole home life, family life, the whole 9 yards, it's all a matter of age of maturity. You know,
right.
You know, you young. If a man asks a woman, and this is my personal opinion, if a newly together, they ain't even got to be married.
Right.
If you would have do whatever, I'm trying to make it work with a whole 9 yards, and your dude asks you to leave, and you say no, I'm thinking the dude will be like, okay, what's the reason why you won't leave? Who in that club that you're trying to get with?
Oh, right. Okay.
You know?
Right. I see what you're saying.
You know? So, again, it's all about who that person, what kind of caliber person that is. Because, you know, like my girl, Cowgirl.
Yeah.
You know, she keeps it 100.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, you know, she is in a, you know, her and her husband both.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing else but there.
Oh, by the way, Cowgirl, if you're watching, happy birthday to you, Twisted. Happy Mother's Day to you, Cowgirl, and definitely doggone Twisted. Happy Mother's Day to you because of your giant ass children. Good God, those dudes are huge. Dude, these guys are bigger than the damn national deficit. And what is it? It's 1, 2, 3 boys? Is it 2 or 3?
I had 6. I have 4 living.
Okay. But good Lord, you make large children is my point. So like you need several happy Mother's Day because of the way that you get down. But no, man, and So first of all, I just want to tell you, we're very glad that you took time out to join us tonight. You need to do it more frequently because we friggin' love you and folks love hearing from you. And I was going to ask you though. So Holly, so with everything, and I know you've been through an awful lot. You've been around on the set for quite a bit. I know you're a bit more down south, but so if you was to like in a nutshell type of thing, what's your take on the whole thing that we're talking about? They say it's you or the club. What's your overall thing? Is it something? Is it worth even dealing with somebody like that, or is it something that's fixable?
You know, I think I think every situation would be different. You know, my father was in a men's club type deal, and my mother was getting ready to tell him it was him or the club. Then she got pregnant, so he got to stay in the club until he moved away. It wasn't MC, but it was a male club. So I think every situation is, I haven't been in that situation with me or the club, and I haven't put anyone in that situation. But we can all imagine how that could happen, and different scenarios where that would be, an answer would be one way or the other, you know. So it just depends on the individuals, I think.
Right on. So Phoenix, why is it that you're always trying to make these dudes get out of the club just so they can talk to you? What's that about? Did that happen? All right.
Yeah,
All right, I'm
never.
playing.
You always started trouble with me.
All right, I'm trying to be better. But I didn't
You
take
keep
my
saying
medication.
that. I don't believe you no more.
All right. So let me ask you this though, for real. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like that dude who, I'm talking not a civilian, a guy that's in a club, y'all was kicking it, everything seemed good, or you know, whatever. But have you ever been with a dude in a club and you thought either A, man, I wish he'd get out of the club, or I wish he'd get out of that club? Has that ever come up? Because there's a club dynamic too, sometimes when you're dating somebody from a different club.
So again, let's go back, rewind. I've only dated one guy in the in the MC in the set.
Oh, you shy.
So you said, am I shy?
No, I said you are shy. That wasn't a question, it was an accusation.
No, don't no, I'm not shy. But I only dated one guy on the set, so no, I never gave him that ultimatum because I understood what his role was with his club.
Right.
You know, so
You know, I'm
and I
teasing
didn't.
about that. But you act, so you recognize like what level of dedication or whatever he had going on. But see, you coming from a MC environment, you kind of get that.
Yeah, I mean, he would go to his function. I would be there. I'll be sitting on the other side of the room. All we had to do was make that eye contact, and we knew that everything was good
Right.
from
Okay.
across the room, and that was it.
Okay. So at least in the case of this dude, there was a certain amount of security that he had, and well, more importantly, that you had to just let him do his thing because you know, hey, he's. But I think that kind of goes with what Holly was saying a little earlier. Sometimes with a person who's in this lifestyle, they kind of get it. You know, they get, hey, you got shit to do, and it ain't about trying to hook up or get laid or any of that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, Archbishop, what say you, sir? Like, is it true what you said earlier about Holly has had too many boyfriends on the set? Or isn't that what you said? I think that's what Archbishop said a minute ago.
He heard me say nothing about Holly.
I might have, these are not, these things don't work good. I might have heard it wrong.
You might have some earwax in your ears.
I do. I'm going to shower though eventually. You don't know. I do shower.
You know, I'm gonna say this. A couple things. First thing is there's a caption that I have on my Facebook page, and it takes a hell of a woman to love an outlaw. Simply put, you know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that you have to deal with. You know what I mean? It's a lot of. There's a couple things that has to be involved with it. You got to trust, respect, communication, and acceptance. These are the four key things. You know, you gotta trust your mate or your woman. You know what I mean? for who they are. You know what I mean? You can't. If you got a problem that you think that they're going to run around and do something, then obviously there's a problem at home anyway. You need to address that problem. Because if everything's good at home, they wouldn't be out here running around doing X, Y, Z. First thing. Hey, goes both ways. You know what I mean? If you have a man that truly respects you for who you are, they are not going to run around and actually do that. So, you know, this is stuff that you have to know within yourself, that you trust him or her, that you respect him or her, and that your line of communication is open to where you're able to freely talk about, you know, any questions, anything else that you may want to know that would, you know, ease the insecurity mind, to that way, you know, doesn't cause a problem down the road.
Right. So that's sort of like nipping it in the bud, really.
Right. You know, and then that's where the acceptance comes in, because once you have an agreement, once them other three has come together, you have a full acceptance as to, okay, this is what it is. You know what I mean? There's nothing I can do to change it. You know what I mean? You know,
right.
If you're my partner, then be my partner. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
It's, you know, like, you know, what was it that Kobe said one time when Shaq said, you know, Kobe wasn't giving up the ball. He was like, "Hey, Kobe, you know it's a team." And he was like, "Yeah, I know, but it's an him and me, this motherfucker too." So it's not just, you know, if I'm in a relationship where it's just me and I feel like it's just me, then guess what? It's not a relationship.
Right.
So a genuine partnership is gonna understand that you know you have your outlets as well as I have mine. I mean, there's stuff that you want to do that you are passionate about, just like it's something that I'm doing that I'm passionate about. I'm not gonna change you for who you are. My job is to strengthen you and make you better than who you are, not to take away. It's
right.
Add to. You know what I mean? I'm adding my portion to it to make this relationship better. I'm not coming in and say, okay, well, I'm gonna do this, but I need you to wipe all this away. That's not how a relationship works.
Right. Yeah, so that's like changing somebody.
Exactly. And that's what you don't do. You know what I mean? Because why would you go into a relationship trying to change something? That was the reason you to him in the first place. You know, so you got to follow those steps. You know.
Okay. Well, hey, so TW said if you make him choose, resentment towards you is probable because he wants to make the cut. And bros before hoes is a saying. If club was before you, you are not number one. If not married, and you're not a bro. Okay, I think I see that. All right, Myron Mosley, that's that brother who made that fantastic intro music for us on the Big Boneyard. Myron says, if you're a woman, if you're a woman don't support your life, she ain't your woman. She's on loan. She might not leave you right away, even if you leave the club, but she will eventually, regardless. Okay, now that's something to think about too. You know. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's actually, I wasn't even thinking about that, but I think he kind of hit a home run with that one right there. Okay. Yeah, so I'll tell you what, man. I think we probably touched on a couple of, again, Mother's Day show, touched on a few issues, probably hurt some feelings. Some folks is mad. We, said some things about some folks, talked about the hoes, I don't know.
I mean, if you got one of them, either the man or the woman, you should
right
out of you and be like, here, listen to this. You talking about your ass. Listen to
this. I swear, I can tell you right now, somebody's gonna be rewinding this shit saying, hey, you know what? That sounds like you. Go back to minute 32 minutes and 14 seconds. I want to listen to that. It's talking about you. But I tell you what, we've been at this for about an hour and 24 minutes, and hey, it's been a good show. It's been, again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and we want y'all to keep rocking with us. And but look, so check out the Facebook group, check out all of that. We're definitely putting out more content, so we're gonna be talking about a lot more stuff. But this has been a good night, and so all the stuff we're talking about tonight, hey, think about some of that stuff. If you're in one of those situations where somebody's trying to give you them 5 words, hey, we shared a lot tonight for you to consider. Twisted gave us a different take on it, as in there might be an occasion where you might say, hey, this motorcycle ain't worth this relationship. But then of course there's also them times where somebody's just trying to like handle your ass and manage your ass because they're insecure, which I know both Phoenix and Holly kind of helped us understand that. But in the meantime, I tell you what, we're gonna shut the hell up. We definitely appreciate y'all coming out here with us tonight. And y'all fuck around. Everybody on the panel, hang on for a little bit. We're gonna sign off and say goodnight to everybody. We're gonna do it again. I'm not sure about the number of days. Archbishop, when are we doing this shit again, sir?
7 days.
7 days. Archbishop says 7 days. So if it ends up being 8 days, 11 days, don't blame me because he done said 7 days. Anyway, yo, look, we love y'all. Y'all keep rocking with us. We're going to see y'all again in about 7 days. Love and respect, y'all.
Night.
Good night, everybody.
Welcome to the Big Boneyard. Enter at your own risk.
I decided to pursue a career in law because it gives me an opportunity to help people. When a client chooses us to represent them, they're entrusting us with a huge responsibility. It's our goal to exceed their expectations with our personalized service and to help them to achieve the best possible recovery to compensate them for their injuries.
That's where we come in. We come in and we solve that problem for them and really set them on the right track in order to try and get back to what their life was like before the accident happened.